Hello and welcome to Filmic Reviews. And today we actually have a very special guest, a very well-known guest, very influential guest here for us today. Come here. Alright, come here. This is, what's your name again?
Mystery Man Gaming.
Mystery Man Gaming. Could you have picked a simpler name?
No.
Typical kids. And welcome to Raiders of the Nostalgia Films. Right, today we're going to review the classic Batman 1980, Batman 1989. Before we get into reviewing, I think it's good that we tell a little bit of a history of this movie. But the first time you actually got a featured movie was actually in the 40s. Actually in the 40s as propaganda films. Propaganda films that were...
This was part of a foreign land transplanted bodily to America and known as Little Tokyo. Since a wise government rounded up the shifty-eyed Japs, it has become virtually a ghost street.
Yes, a group of men, all of them dishonored like yourself.
But then after that, then the show came out. Then there was a show that came out during the 60s, during like the 50s and 60s by basically with Adam West.
Adam West, Burt Ward, etc.
Yeah, and they made the Batman, and they made basically made this Batman parody show. It was kind of a parody of like the comics, and people liked it a lot. So then they made a movie in 1966. But people at the time, they assumed Batman and Robin were just like silly children's figures that you appear for a laugh. So, and for decades, Batman fans wanted to get a good depiction of Batman on the big screen. Thanks to the success of the Superman series, a couple of producers came together and thought that they can make a Batman movie. Eventually, thanks to like my friends, they actually got like the director Tim Burton, who was known for his macabre aesthetic, to direct the Batman film. When people first heard that Michael Keaton was starring, they only saw him as a comedy actor appearing in films such as Beetlejuice, so they did not think it'll actually work out very well until they saw the teaser. Later on, and then they got Jack Nicholson as a way to get the film to have more popularity, sort of like how they did for Superman with Marlon Brando. And when it was released, it was a massive summer hit. Now we do the review of the movie. So, how would you rate the story?
I would give it, honestly, it's an okay story.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just have a feeling that it's been done before, because like the whole toxic waste thing is just a tidbit cliche. It's a giant city with people robbing everything, which is very cliche, honestly, in my opinion.
That's
so
standard.
I'm gonna give it a minus sign.
What
would you rate it?
I actually I think I like the first third of the movie before Jack Nicholson becomes a Joker is actually the movie part where I actually enjoyed the most. Because it kind of felt like a cool little mafia movie.
It gives you that feeling that you're on a ride and you're just like experiencing this all, and it's really cool.
It's like a mafia. It felt like a mafia movie, but when he became the Joker, he was. I guess you could say it was very enjoyable as the Joker, but it just felt like a standard superhero movie. Try to stop the bad guy, but before then it was like kind of like basically mafia intrigue.
Yeah.
So I would just give it more of a minus because it was not very creative.
Yeah.
But now we talk about the special effects.
Were there that many special effects?
I guess special effects include art direction as well.
Yeah, so because towards the end, where Batman was driving off to rescue his hot reporter girlfriend thingy, there was a huge explosion behind him, and that was one of the special effects. And in my opinion, That was actually a pretty good special effect.
The special effects were not actually very bad, but there were some parts you actually tell those were just toy cars. I also kind of like the gothic atmosphere of Gotham City.
Because I like how Tim Burton styled it, because everything is so like amazing, and it's just like, oh, I've never seen this kind of a style of a huge giant city. It looks like I'm on a ride or something. I think I'm gonna give the special effects, because they were pretty okay, I'm gonna give it a plus sign.
Yeah, I'll give it a plus sign. All right, now we're at the character / cast. Why not to start with Jack Nicholson? What are your opinions?
My opinion for them picking Jack Nicholson, I think it was honestly a good choice, because if you've watched the original Little Shop of Horrors, it showed that evil kind of guy. His name was like, I can't even remember his name, but he was really creepy. So he went to the dentist's office and he wanted all of his teeth to be pulled out, and kind of he wanted to be abused. So that's kind of like what Joker is basically, and he wouldn't stop smiling in the Little Shop of Horrors. So I think that Jack Nicholson honestly was a perfect fit. What do you think about Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton, I think he was like, in terms of him being Batman, was actually not bad of a choice. But in terms of being Bruce Wayne, he was kind of a lame character. The characters were not really well written as well. They were filmed there to fill in archetypes instead of like being actual characters.
I think Batman, when he played Batman, that was pretty okay. But when he played Bruce Wayne, it was just kind of like, no.
Lame.
The only part where that was like he did really good at being Bruce Wayne was when he says he was in the apartment and he's trying to fight Joker. He just
made mistakes. And then he had us. Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
That was like one of the only good times he was good at playing Bruce Wayne. So what do you think about? It's an okay cast, and it's not the best one, but I think I'll give it a plus.
I'll give it a plus. A plus.
It is time, my friend, for the execution / does it hold up? And here we go. This is the dun time.
Does the film hold up?
Honestly, yes, because it's not better what's been done today, honestly. It's kind of one of those 80s movies that you're just like, oh, it's there. But it's still a good film. I mean, the Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, even though he wasn't as good of a Bruce Wayne, it still holds up. So I think it's a decent film. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll say it's more or less of a film. Like, at the time, it was probably something new that people haven't seen. Since Batman was seen as a silly character by the public, and actually doing a serious take on like what they did there was actually a very interesting move.
Especially at the
But there were two things that kind of annoyed me. One thing is that the Joker is that Jack Nicholson was the one that killed Bruce Wayne's parents, because because here's the thing about that is that why would he need to fight crime anymore if he finally got revenge on his parents?
Yeah.
And number two is that he's an absolute murderer. He's a pure psycho. Man, he's willing to kill any criminal that gets in his way.
Honestly, he's scarier than the Joker. In this movie, yes. I think that concludes our
analysis.
We will see you, he will, in the next video. And this is Raiders of the Nostalgic Films saying, see you next time and goodbye.
Yeah, now leave.